then the other day we watched Signs, my number 10 pick. It stars Mel Gibson, Joaquin Phoenix, and also the director, M. Night Shyamalan's in it. And there might be spoilers in our reviews, so careful before you watch them. What I have to say about Signs, I liked it all around. The police officer, a little confusing a little bit. Like, her sentences didn't really go with the movie that much, but that's really all I have to say.
That's actually kind of my biggest problem with the movie is I just found that, not just from the police officer, but from pretty much every character in the movie, none of the dialogue sounds natural. Like, it sounds very, very scripted. And, well, it is because it's a movie, but it shouldn't. All of the dialogue should flow nicely, and I just find that it doesn't. And it makes the acting seem bad, even though it's not always bad. It's just, I don't know, what they're saying doesn't really work too well. That's my biggest beef with the movie. And
How do you say that?
I don't know. That's just what I thought about it.
When they're running around the house, that's my favorite part.
Well, yeah, that part was pretty funny, but I just, like, most of what they're saying is just, I don't really know how to describe it, otherwise it doesn't sound like it's what they'd say in that situation, I guess. Like, I don't really have any specific examples, it's just, it just stood out for me for some reason, that I just don't like the dialogue in the whole movie. Like, I don't know, it makes even, like, the parts that are supposed to be tender and heartwarming don't really go there, because the dialogue's just usually really silly in those parts.
I didn't find any part tender and heartwarming.
Oh, well, they tried it when the family's crying at the dinner table, and
I thought that was a funny part.
And then when the kid's dying of asthma in the one scene, it's supposed to be all, oh no, and stuff, and it isn't. It tries, but it isn't, unfortunately.
There's one more. When something's happening, like, say this was in real life, there was no freaking way I'd run outside if I saw someone on my roof. Alright? Just putting that out there. I wouldn't run outside. I'd probably lock the door and stay inside. The kids were okay. The flashbacks were kind of annoying. I know that was part of the movie, but
yeah, I agree with you on that.
Kind of got on my nerves.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it made a bigger impact having it split up into like 3 parts of flashback. I think it should have been one scene. Just got it out of the way. It wasn't any more impactful being like that. And then stupid swing away. Oh, worst line I've heard in a movie.
I don't know why you don't like that.
Oh, it's just so corny.
But the mom was...
Yeah, I know. Like, it's just so cheesy how everything works together. Like the girl's problem with the water.
Yeah, but
and whatnot.
The mom knew.
It was just so formulated. I just thought that was silly. Like
the mom knew. That's why it's called Signs.
It's called Signs because of the crops.
No, it's called Signs because...
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't care why it's called Signs. It's just I don't like that element of it.
Swing away.
I just didn't like that. I was like, wow, there's just a huge corn fest right there. Bowl of cheese about that thick.
He did it, dude. Well, still, how big was it? You think that alien was like 7 foot?
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
When I had that picture, this alien was buff. And he just hit it with a baseball bat. If I was that alien, I'd go apeshit on his ass. Like, if he has, like, the things coming out of his hands, just use those things. Just tackle him or something. He was just standing there taking the hits.
Yeah, it was pretty unclimactic, the final battle. It was kind of stupid that all the aliens just kind of left. Like,
well, it's because it started snowing, and they don't like water.
It wasn't snowing at that point, and not everywhere in the world.
Their area, they said they left because
they said they got driven away by some primitive weapon. That's all they say about it. Like, the aliens leaving should have been kind of an important part of the movie. It was like, oh yeah, all the aliens left.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
I know it's not. Like, I know it's supposed to focus on the family and it does. So I get that's not like that's definitely not my biggest problem with the movie. It was just kind of, oh, the aliens are all gone.
No,
Okay.
but remember when at the end, Mel Gibson, he's not a reverend, but then he turns reverend and it looks out the window.
Yeah, but that's called a time lapse. That means there's been time.
How do you know? What if it was
Because
like, the
it was
next day?
it was summer the day before. The day they were showing
It
was
could have
summer.
been. It could have been. I was about to say spring. It could have been autumn.
It was summer. They were in t-shirts, and the next day it's like heavy snowfall, like that thick on the ground.
It wasn't that thick because
It was. The trees were covered. The trees were covered in snow. You don't see grass on that scene. It's just trees, and they're covered in snow.
I didn't see
Like
any
that's
trees.
supposed to be a time lapse. That's what that's called.
I didn't see any trees. I
Time
saw
lapse.
grass. Because it was just a big field of grass. It was their backyard.
Anyway, yeah. So I don't like the dialogue. The acting's pretty. Like acting's the least important part of a movie to me, but you know, it doesn't really carry the.
Acting's the least important part of the movie.
Oh yeah, in acting, you don't need an Oscar-winning performance for every movie. It's not required. Well, unless the movie calls for it, but a lot of movies don't really require it. But there were some of the more heartfelt moments I didn't really connect. I think more because of the dialogue, but the acting all around was pretty flat.
Well, that was our argument or our view. Watch it. See what you think. Comment on whatever we did wrong or we did right.
Okay, so, well, overall, Signs still isn't that bad, even though I've only nitpicked at it. It's entertaining enough. Out of 10, maybe I'd give it maybe a 6.
I'd give it a 7.
Okay.
7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Sounds good. Alright, we'll see you later, fans.
Yep. Be prepared for my number 10 pick coming up soon.